Amara was the kind of woman who caught the wind when she walked, graceful, driven, a fire in her eyes that could both warm and burn. She lived in Lagos, Nigeria, a city that never slept, where the honks of danfos mixed with the scent of roasted corn on the street. Amara worked as a marketing strategist, balancing campaigns with coffee, deadlines with dreams. She met Liam online. He lived in Cape Town, oceans and landscapes away. A wildlife photographer with eyes that saw more through a lens than most did with bare vision. Their first conversation was accidental, sparked in a shared comment section on a travel photography page. But from that casual start, something grew. By the time Liam flew to Lagos to meet Amara in person, 6 months had passed. And when their eyes met at the airport, they didn't need words, just one long embrace that melted away the distance. For 10 perfect days, they lived in a dream. Lagos nights on the beach, holding hands in Lekki, sneaking kisses in the market crowd, dancing under the stars to Afrobeats with friends. But as he boarded his flight back, both their hearts ached. The real challenge began then, maintaining the spark across cities and time zones. Amara had a past. His name was Chuka, a man who once loved her loudly, but left her quietly. He had been her first real love, and her biggest heartbreak. He cheated, lied, and made her question her worth. When she moved on with Liam, Chuka stayed away. Until one evening, months into her long-distance relationship, she bumped into him at a friend's engagement party. "I've changed," he said, voice thick with regret. "I miss you." Amara dismissed him, but the encounter haunted her. Not because she missed him, but because of what he reminded her of: heartbreak, betrayal, and how fragile trust could be. She told Liam everything. Liam was understanding, at first. But then came the small cracks. He grew distant some days, insecure others. "Are you sure you're over him?" he asked once, quietly. Amara reassured him again and again. But she could feel the pressure building, on both ends. The distance, the time apart, her ex reappearing, friends warning her to be careful, and society whispering doubts about long-distance love. Arguments crept in. Missed calls turned into cold silences. Love notes became questions. Trust began to waver. One night, Liam found an old photo of Amara and Chuka on her Instagram, deep in the archives. It wasn't romantic, but it was happy. His jealousy, quietly kept at bay, erupted. "Why is he still in your past if he's not in your heart?" Liam texted. Amara snapped. "Because I have a past, Liam. Just like you. I can't erase it." The fight escalated. They didn't speak for days. The silence between Lagos and Cape Town was louder than traffic in either city. During that silence, Chuka messaged again, "I heard you're fighting with your man. You deserve someone who doesn't doubt you." This time, Amara didn't reply. But she was tired of proving herself, tired of holding on to a love that felt like it was slipping. Liam flew in without telling her. He showed up at her office, flowers in hand, exhaustion on his face, and apology in his eyes. They sat by the lagoon that night. No fights, no defensiveness. Just honesty. "I love you," he said, voice breaking. "But I didn't realize how much I was letting fear speak louder than love." Amara touched his hand. "And I didn't realize how much I was still fighting ghosts I thought I'd buried." They talked for hours. About boundaries, forgiveness, and how love isn't just about romance, but endurance. They both agreed to go for therapy, individually and together, even from a distance. A year later, Amara got a job offer in Cape Town. At first, she hesitated. She had built a life in Lagos. But Liam was there. and she realized love sometimes calls for a leap of faith. She moved. The adjustment wasn't perfect. They still fought sometimes. But now, they fought to stay together, not to prove points. Chuka, once a shadow, faded completely. Amara had finally let go, not because she forgot, but because she had grown beyond the pain. And Liam? From insecurity into assurance. From doubt into deep, grounded love. Amara's first few months in Cape Town felt like walking barefoot on unfamiliar ground. Though Liam was there, supportive and steady, her new job came with pressures. The corporate world in Cape Town was different from Lagos. The unspoken cultural codes, the subtle exclusions in boardrooms, and the feeling of always having to prove herself weighed heavily. Sometimes, Amara came home tired, barely speaking. And Liam, who thought her move would draw them closer, started feeling distant again. One night, as she sat hunched over her laptop for the third straight evening, he said quietly, "You moved for us, but it feels like I'm losing you to this city." She looked up, surprised and guilty. "I'm trying to build something here, Liam. For us, for me. Can't you see that?" "I do," he said. "But I miss us. Not just the version of us that shares a roof, but the one that shared hearts across oceans." Just as they were trying to rebalance, a message from Nigeria changed everything. Amara's mother had fallen sick, seriously. She needed to return home. Liam booked the flight himself. "Family comes first," he said, hugging her tightly at the airport. Back in Lagos, everything was different again. The smells, the sounds, the chaos, and the comfort. Caring for her mother grounded Amara in ways she hadn't expected. And being around familiar faces, old friends, and the rhythm of home stirred something deep inside her. And then, Chuka showed up at the hospital. He was volunteering there as part of an outreach program. He greeted her with respectful distance, nothing inappropriate. But the encounter reopened memories she thought she'd closed for good. Worse, a friend took a photo of them smiling near the hospital gates and shared it on Instagram, tagged and public. Within hours, Liam called. "She's sick," Amara said, frustrated. "And he just showed up. I didn't invite this, Liam." I know, he sighed. "But it just brought back all the old fears again. Maybe I'm still scared of losing you." Amara's voice trembled. "You're not losing me. But if you keep treating my past like a threat, you'll make me a prisoner of it." That night they both cried. Separately. But instead of letting the silence grow again, Liam sent a message. "Let's fight for us, with trust this time, not fear." Amara's mother recovered slowly, and Amara stayed for 2 more months. In that time, she reconnected with her roots, wrote essays about navigating 2 worlds, African identity in foreign places, and even got published in a local magazine. When she returned to Cape Town, something had shifted. She no longer felt like a guest in Liam's world. She was bringing her own. One evening, Liam invited her to a small dinner party on a beach cliffside. Friends, candles, laughter. And just before dessert, he stood up, glass in hand. "You moved across countries, cultures, and chaos for us," he said, turning to her. "We fought ghosts, distance, and even ourselves. But through it all, you never stopped choosing me. So tonight, Amara Nwankwo, will you choose me forever?" He got down on one knee. The rings sparkled like the stars above. Amara, tears flowing freely, nodded. Yes. 1,000 times, yes. Their engagement didn't magically erase their differences. Amara still felt pulled between 2 homes. Liam struggled to keep up with her intensity. Sometimes, they argued over wedding plans, cultures, where to live. But they had learned something priceless. Love was not a fairy tale, it was a decision. Every day. To stay. To grow. To heal. Together. They held a dual wedding, a traditional Igbo ceremony in Nigeria, vibrant with color and music, and a smaller beach ceremony in Cape Town, intimate and soft. Their marriage was a blend of two worlds. They built a home filled with Amara's Ankara patterns and Liam's wildlife photography. Their life was noisy, tender, frustrating, and beautiful. Years later, Amara would publish a book, Miles Between Hearts, based on their journey. It became a bestseller across Africa and beyond. In the dedication, she wrote, "To the man who taught me that the strongest bridges are not built from wood or steel, but from truth, forgiveness, and love across oceans." Liam, holding her hand at the book launch, whispered, "Thank you for crossing the distance." Amara smiled, resting her head on his shoulder. "We didn't cross it, love. We built it." And so, from two distant cities, two very different people built one beautiful, imperfect, enduring love.